It's December 25th, so we're going to play some Dying Fetus. Hit it, Ziggy. Crank that up loud. December 25th, Ziggy, so you know what that means. Shane McGowan's birthday. So raise a pint right now for Shane McGowan if you're watching our show. We got to play Dying Fetus. The song is called Praise the Lord, Opium of the Masses. I thought it was appropriate for today. The local band of the week is Chemicost. We're ready to hit some Chemicost, their new release. As Empires Fall, they've got a New Year's Eve gig in Fort Worth. Check out their Facebook. We're just going to keep that rolling, Ziggy. Look what someone sent us. Hail Satan and drink coffee. That's from Blackcraft, I think. You know, Satanism is used more and more in marketing. This is our other coffee beans. It's from Dan Sperry called Zombie Java. Quick reminder, in future shows, guess who we're going to have? The authors, Rick Spears and Chuck Beebe.
I'm real excited about that show, guys.
Yes.
January 15th.
January 15th. We got them lined up. Rick Spears and Chuck Beebe, who wrote Black Metal and other graphic novels and comics, right, Ziggy?
Rick Spears, he did a side story in some of the Detective Comics, which follows I believe a homeless man and his dog in Gotham.
Batman Detective?
Yes.
Quick reminder that if you're in Dallas on New Year's Eve, is a Deadly Sins Burlesque and Sideshow. $8. If you're in Dallas on New Year's Eve, check this out. It's at Wits End in Deep Ellum. If you're in Fort Worth, check out Chemicost. I think on the bill is War Beast with them. Let me, go to their Facebook and confirm that. But shout out to Chemicost, too. We're going to keep them rolling. In future shows, we've also got, guess who? Mick Box from the legendary Uriah Heep. That is a band that a lot of metalheads follow. They're still around making some great music. And we've got a guest coming on from one of our cool new supporters called Snackrilege. More about them coming up. Shout out to them. And Electric Wizard, maybe Alcest, Raven Cult, and Worm Rot, all coming up. And maybe a report back on actual metal dating from Ross Stitches. So we'll see how that goes. All right. This is December 25th. I told you the reason for the celebration is Shane McGowan's birthday. Yes, it is. So raise a pint. We're going to show you all of our cool friends on the other table there. This is my new co-host today. Yeah, there we go, Ziggy. Nice. And we've got our keyboard up in the background. Yeah. Hey, big shout out and thanks to TST, the Satanic Temple Dallas chapter, who had a great fun get-together in Deep Ellum back on Thursday night. That was really cool. It was good to see everyone there. Shout out to the Satanic Temple Dallas. Can you see this one right here, Ziggy? This is my new co-host tonight. The Headless Girl. Yeah. Let's keep it rolling. The Corpse Paint Show, we love metal. Tonight we started with Dying Fetus and Chemicost. We also love to talk to interesting people, especially those who offer a positive perspective to others who may be going through a path in their life. And so we're going to Skype in, early part of the show, we're going to Skype in Bruce, so we'll bring him on right now. And then later in the show, we've got Agnette from Matter Mortem. She'll be talking to us from Oslo, Norway. So, hello, Bruce.
Hello, how are you, Jay?
Man, I'm doing great. It's good to see you. You look so good. And we're gonna tell people about your website here. We're gonna pop it up, and I know really it's kind of like your blog, isn't it? Your stories and your kind of your mission now. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is to help others who maybe have had challenges with the church and organized religion in general, right?
Yeah, that's correct. That's right. It's one guy telling his story. That's how I tell others about my blog.
But it's quite a story, and it's Bruce Garinser, and he's in Ohio. And Bruce was a evangelical pastor for 25 years, and then left the church. He is now an atheist, and like I said, kind of helps others who may be in the church but wavering or having doubts or what have you. But Bruce, I don't want to put words in your mouth. Kind of tell us what was your transition from being a pastor all those years to now being a non-believer?
Well, that's a good question, and I've been asked that question hundreds and hundreds of times, I suppose, now over the past 8 years. And I spent most of my life in the Christian church. Started life baptized as a Lutheran, and my parents moved us to California in the early 1960s, and it was there that they hooked up with Tim LaHaye, and they had a religious transformation, became born-again Christians, and were exposed to the John Birch Society and right-wing political views. And from that point forward, I was raised in an evangelical fundamentalist Christian home. We went to church 3 times a week. Every time the doors were open, we were at church. And so it was natural for me that was the religion I was raised in. I had the typical profession of faith that kids raised in that environment have. And from there, I thought that, God was calling me to be a pastor. And so I went off to Bible college at the age of 19 and started in pastoring churches then, several years later. And for 25 years, I was an evangelical and thought that, the Bible was the very word of God, and that there was one way to heaven, one God, one truth. And that pretty much was my charted course until about 2006, 2007. And then I started taking a hard look once again at my beliefs. What is it that I really believe? My politics had moved somewhat to the left. I had become more liberal in my view of Christianity and who's in and who's out. Still somewhat conservative, but for my evangelical friends and colleagues in the ministry, they considered me very much liberal by that point in my life. And so as I started re-studying, re-investigating the things that I believed, the first thing I looked at is, what do I really believe about the Bible? Is the Bible the inerrant, infallible, inspired Word of God? Is every word in the Bible true? Can we trust it to tell us the truth about life, death, and life to come? And as I studied those issues, with the help of Bart Ehrman in particular, and some of his books, as I began to read them, I came to realize that my belief about the Bible and its authority and its inerrancy simply was not true. And that was kind of the initial point for me that I say pretty much brought my house falling down. Some people can hang on to belief. They move on to liberal or progressive Christian viewpoints, and I tried to do that for a while, but it just didn't make any sense to me. If the Bible is not what Christians say it is, then the foundation of Christianity falls. And so that's kind of where it really all started for me, and kind of progressed from there. If the Bible isn't what Christians say it is, then, well, what about the virgin birth, the resurrection of Jesus Christ, the miracles that Jesus did? Was Jesus who Christians say he is. Did Jesus exist at all? Those are all questions that then come as you start to, what I call in one post I wrote, you start to look outside of the box, and you start considering things that would have been either impossible to consider or heretical if you dared to voice them.
Was there someone that triggered it, or was it just an intellectual development or transition for you?
Well, it was an intellectual endeavor for the most part. I did, during this time, I kind of flirted with what was called the emerging or emergent church, and before I finally come to the conclusion that I was an atheist. And the emerging church was more of a progressive, liberal-oriented Christianity, and it was during that time that I met a man who lived nearby here. He was a former Pentecostal pastor. His name was Jim Schock, and he and I became dear friends, and still are good friends to this day, even though he betrayed me and moved to Arizona, and I'm stuck here in Ohio. But I'm sure he'll be hearing this and he'll laugh. But so we would get together, and here were two ex-preachers, and we could go to the pub or to a restaurant, and we could just talk, and we, nothing was off limits, out of bounds, and it allowed us to work through a lot of the thoughts we had about religion, the church, and Christianity, and our various experiences dealing with people as pastors. And so that was quite helpful. And it was quite important for me, too, because when I came to the place where I said I no longer believed, my colleagues in the ministry, those that were still left, they all turned on me, every last one of them.
Yeah.
And so I lost, relationships that I had developed over my entire adult life. The moment I publicly said I no longer believe, those relationships all went away. Yeah. So it was good that Jim was a dear friend, still is, and very helpful at that point in my life.
Well, good. I'm going to give out our phone number now, Bruce. If you want to make a comment or a question for Bruce, it's 504-656-6247. Got a comment, a question? 504-656-6247. And we'll try and squeeze you in. Bruce, do you have peace of mind now?
Yes. I wouldn't have, 2008 is when the end of 2008 is when I, publicly said, look, I'm an atheist. I no longer believe. And there was that time, that residual, what I call evangelical belief that kind of lurks deep within your mind that, yes. Oh my God, what if I'm wrong? I'm going to go to hell. I've denied God. I've denied all these things. And but over time that went away. And as I began to broaden my horizons, and I started meeting other people, people that were unbelievers, people that had different worldviews. The internet was helpful. I think that one of the things that is helping deal a great blow to religion in general is the fact that the internet allows people to be exposed to worldviews that they never would have been exposed to before.
Yes.
So, now I have friends. I still have a few evangelical friends. They tend to be pretty progressive and liberal for the most part. But, I have friends who are Buddhists, and I've got friends who are, pagans, and throw in a witch or two. And, it's interesting to have friends who have varying viewpoints. Not only just viewpoints, but the culture that I grew up in is that I could never have friends that were women, because women were viewed as temptresses, as Jezebels, as every woman is out to destroy you and ruin your ministry. And so women had to be kept at a distance, lest you fall into sin. And so it's nice now that I can actually have, friends of both sexes, and
Sure.
not feel like, oh my God, we're going to fall into sin, if we dare have a conversation with each other. So, it's, I like to think that, all of the little niggling doubts are gone. But, there are times, if I'm honest, that, in the still of the night, you have what I call one of those vestiges of your religious past.
Yes.
It'll show up and it'll say, oh, Bruce, you might be wrong, and, I just laugh them off and go to sleep.
Good.
That said, a lot of the people that contact me who are in the process of deconverting, that is a big problem for them, because they're afraid that they're making a wrong choice, and they've been taught their entire life that if you choose wrong, you're going to go to hell. And so it's important to make the right choice.
There are support groups for so many variety of things and people, and someone coming out of the closet as an example. Support groups, I feel. But is there a support group for someone who is transitioning out of their religion? Did you find anything like that in 2008?
No, actually not. I tested the waters for a short time at the Ex-Christian website, and I know the guy who runs that very well, and he's a great guy. But there was a small contingent of hardcore atheists that were dominating the site at the time, and that's no longer the case. And so when I would, just talk out loud, that's how we all tend to change our mind about things. We talk about things,
yes.
and so as I would talk out loud, maybe I didn't use the right language, or I didn't frame my questions in the right way. And boy, these hardcore atheists jumped on me, every much as like I experienced in my past with, fundamentalist Baptist preachers, getting right in your face and making sure that you're, saying the right things and believing the right things. And so that caused me to kind of back up for a little bit.
Huh.
And so, but the good thing is that, over time I was better to able to frame the things that I wanted to say. And certainly my blog, I have thousands of readers, and that has helped me to, interact with a lot of different people, not only on my blog, but also on social media. And I have a Facebook page, but I also have a personal Facebook account. And I tend to reserve my Facebook account for people who are, of a similar persuasion as I am. That's kind of our, what I call, we hang out at the pub page.
Yep.
We have friendly discussions, and we, don't unfriend each other if we say the wrong thing. So
good. And okay, so this I want to kind of give a friendly friendly thought to our atheist friends to remember what Bruce said here. And that is, we don't have to be in someone's face so hardcore, do we? And people travel their own path, and sometimes it's a winding road, and they're going to do that on their time. We can be there to be a shoulder on that road, but I agree with you. Getting in someone's face, both the hardcore religious community or even atheists, is counterproductive.
Yeah, and for us as atheists, look, there's no afterlife, so it's not like we're saving somebody from eternal damnation.
Yeah.
And so we can live the talk another day. And
Yep.
Now that's sometimes easier said than done. Believe me, I've had moments where I have, been very short with people, and so sometimes people can rub us the wrong way. But in general, you try to realize, just like you said, that everybody's on their own path, they're on their own journey, and I see myself as more of a facilitator. I want to try to help them on that journey, and wherever they end up is fine.
Yeah.
Any move away from fundamentalist belief and thinking is a good move, even if they end up, in a Presbyterian church somewhere. And would I prefer that they be an atheist or an agnostic or a skeptic, humanist or whatever? Sure. But, not everyone's gonna walk the same path.
Right. And
we have to recognize that.
You're absolutely right. And they do it on their own time frame, and we don't feel the stakes are so high. And really, by and large, we're not looking for recruits. We're not. We don't care. You follow your own path. I have nothing against extremely religious people. I respect those that are firm in their belief. I do. But I just want to have, as our Constitution guarantees, the ability to speak about my beliefs as well and not be shouted down.
Right. That's exactly right.
Well, what are maybe some interesting topics that reoccur on your blog or that people throw at you? You had mentioned the nagging doubt in the middle of the night. I think for me, a Reformed Catholic, a recovering Catholic, it's guilt. Sometimes you just feel guilt over doing something. I don't know. A lot of guilt in religion. I just need to get away from.
Well, and that's a good question, Jay, because we're central to most Christian sects is the fact that all humans are born sinners, and sin is transgression of the law of God, and we are at variance. We're the enemies of God because of sin. That's why we need redeemed, saved, confirmed, whatever term that a particular religion might use. And so when we're no longer believers, what happens is that we have to mentally, psychologically, philosophically think about those things and say, well, okay, what is our moral and ethical framework now? And I like to tell people that my sin list now fits on a 3x5 card.
Yeah. Good.
Instead of, 66 books of the Bible and all these verses that said this or that about sin. And so it's like my counselor tells me, he says, I think we all can agree that it's probably bad to roast babies and eat them. Yes, we can all agree that that's a bad idea. And but there's so much of what is called sin in American culture today that is just religious people demanding that we live by their religious dictates and according to their interpretations of the Christian Bible. I mean, you look at the culture war in America, and what drives the battle over same-sex marriage, transgender bathroom use, abortion, a host of issues, and it's a certain segment of our society's a dogmatic interpretation of the Bible, and so they want others to live according to their interpretations of a religious book that people may not necessarily believe is true. And so it's tough to battle that, though, because when it's ingrained into you, this is a sin, this is a sin, this is a sin. It's I tell the story this way. It's years ago as a pastor, you'd be watching a movie and all of a sudden here'd come a woman with she's naked and oh my God, gotta close my eyes, I can't look at that. And then you kind of just with one eye, look, at the last moment, and because it was a sin to look at naked women on TV, and but now here I am, we're watching HBO and watching a show, and sure. That happens. It's just part of the television show, and but I had to struggle with those things to kind of undo some of the that deep moral imprint that had been made on me psychologically by my religious upbringing. And now, of course, the Christian will say to me, see, well, there's proof that you have a seared conscience and Satan is working in you, because now these things that you thought were sin are no longer sins to you. And I get letters occasionally from people that say the only reason that you're an atheist is because that you have a secret desire to sin. And I'm trying to figure out what the hell are they talking about, because my life pretty much is not a whole lot different than what it was when I was a believer.
Right.
I might watch a little more racy stuff on TV. Yeah. I swear a bit more, and Outside of that, it's really not much different. I treat people nice with
Yep.
respect.
You're,
I try to love my neighbor.
yes.
You know,
You're married. You told me 38 years.
yes,
Yes.
yes,
High fives to you. I
yes.
mean, nothing changed there in your home life, your personal life in that regard.
No, my wife Polly had some doubts of herself, and so a lot of this journey away from Christianity, we did it together, and that was a good thing. Though I think her motivations were somewhat different than mine. I think that the intellectual aspect for her was smaller than it was for me, and I think there were the psychological aspects, the personal connections.
Yes.
How come God doesn't answer prayer? You know, why do people, they pray and they pray and they pray and they pray, and you know, God never answers their prayer. And so more of those things, I think, for her. But in the end, we were on the same page. Now the biggest challenge, of course, was for our 6 children, and they're all raised in a pastor's home, and
Yes.
raised as good little fundamentalists, and we expected them to go off to fundamentalist colleges. You know, when they graduated in high school, they were homeschooled most of their life, and so here we were all of a sudden here in 2008. One day we said, look, all of that we did in the past, we are repudiating that.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of like you were all of a sudden cutting them free.
All right.
And to do whatever they wanted to do. And it's been interesting to watch, what's happened over the last 8 years. I can say that none of them are evangelicals any longer. And, I don't want to speak for them, but I would say that 2 of them attend Catholic Church with their spouses, and the rest of them are, non-practicing.
Yeah.
And they're of a range of,
Yeah.
they don't care to, several of them are involved in more Buddhist mindfulness type thinking, of which I have a lot of affinity for myself.
Yes.
And so, we're viewed by my wife's family, who is her dad's a retired fundamentalist pastor, as is her uncle and cousins, and you name it. There's more preachers in her family than you can count. They view our family as a big failure, and that because I was not the leader of the home, because I didn't stay true to the faith, that I basically have ruined my children, and I have ruined my 11 grandchildren too because of that. And needless to say, that thinking has made family
gatherings
awkward,
awkward.
Very difficult.
Yeah. I think you're mentally healthy, Bruce. I really do, and you're, if I can use the word progressive, I know it means a lot of things in culture today, but your thinking is progressive, and I think that closed-minded thinking among a lot of evangelicals is regressive, and worse than that, it is harmful sometimes when they claim there's, of course, the satanic panic in the late 80s and 90s, and then I even see things online now from pastors that is horrible medical advice because the allegation is that maybe there's a demon in you or something if you're not feeling right. And so not only regressive, but I think at times harmful. And certainly we could find some victims of the satanic panic and have them on the show, and they would testify to its harmfulness.
And I think your focus on the psychological aspects, I think, is very important, because and that's what I tend to deal with when I interact with people who write me, is help them to see the psychological damage done by evangelical beliefs. Now, the damage can be less or more depending on to the degree of fundamentalism that was in the sect that they were a part of. I grew up in a church where we didn't smoke, we didn't drink, we didn't. Girls wore dresses; they weren't allowed to wear pants, and boys had to have short haircuts and all these rules and regulations that were required. Now, don't let me deceive you there. It doesn't mean that everyone was following those rules. As I've met some of my schoolmates years later now that evidently I kept the rules a lot better than they did. And some of them were not quite as faithful to the Baptist beliefs as I was. And so we've had a lot of interesting stories to share about, the things that happen behind the scenes, little sins that people got involved in, and sins that, quite frankly, that someone maybe coming from your background as a Catholic, you'd hear about it and you just kind of shake your head. You say, "Really?"
Yeah.
That was. You didn't listen to rock music in the '60s or the '70s. No, we weren't allowed to. And so in some ways, for my wife and I here, we deconverted at the age of 50. We're kind of living our younger years all over again.
Good.
And so our bodies just don't quite move as fast.
That's okay. You're still doing it, and look,
Yes.
life is about learning and expansion and growing, and that does mean rebellion and breaking through barriers and walls, etc. I just don't think it's healthy for our country to be stuck in regressive thinking. I just don't. Hey, Bruce, you mentioned Ehrman. Was he an author? You said that kind of.
Yes, Bart Ehrman is a theologian, a New Testament scholar at University of North Carolina, and New York Times bestseller. He writes not only technical theological books, but he also writes at a popular level for everyday readers about the nature of the text of the Bible, its historicity, and its it's whether or not the claims that evangelicals make for the Bible is true. And Bart comes from a similar background as I. He started an evangelical church, attended a evangelical college, and but from there, because of his desire to do postgraduate work, it took him into more liberal institutions, and he was exposed to things there that he had never been exposed to before, and it caused a dramatic change in his view of Christianity and the Bible. And now, I don't want to speak for him, but I believe he calls himself an agnostic now.
Yeah.
And when I recommend books for people, I always recommend his books. And I can say over 8 years that there have been a handful of people that were Christians at the time that I recommended his books, and after they read them, they no longer were. And I think his books can have that effect, especially on evangelicals who everything they believe is rooted in that understanding that the Bible is somehow, some way, some authoritative supernatural book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think with the Catholic view is a little different. I think, if you could correct me if I'm wrong, why the Bible had a central part. You also had the authority of the Pope and these other things that came into play. But for the evangelical, it's the priesthood of the believer. Every believer can read the Word of God and can understand it for himself, and so the Bible becomes this authority above all others.
Yeah. I think I hope I can consider you a friend, Bruce. I just
Sure.
I really respect your journey, and I know it is a personal one. And you may assist people who come to you, but you're not out trying to recruit. None of us are militant. But we do want people to enjoy life and live and learn and grow. And I want to say thank you for making the world a more sacrilegious place, and I mean that with all due respect.
Oh, thank you.
And I got that phrase from your blog website. So, Bruce, if you don't mind, would you spell out for us how people can find you online, please. I believe it's just your name.com.
Yeah, .net. Yeah, it's
.net.
BRUCEGENCSER.net.
.net.
Yep.
And you're always posting new stuff there and thoughts and your blog. So let's get together again soon, Bruce. And of course, we're in Dallas. If you're ever down this way, boy, I'd love to hoist a beer with you if that's all right.
Okay. That's fine, Jay. Listen, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. You have a wonderful holiday.
Thank you very much, and appreciate you again, Bruce. Great to talk to you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye now. Yeah, thank you, Bruce. What a cool dude telling a story online. How brave is that? I mean, to go online and tell your transition out of being a priest for a pastor for 25 years.
Right? That's intense.
Yeah.
And just the effect that would have on your interpersonal relationships like that, and your wife's family having such a deep-rooted faith. That's a very tough decision to make, and I think that you have to believe that you are in the right and that you are expanding yourself and evolving as a person to make that.
Ziggy, when people tend to join a group or a religion, they usually have a welcoming committee that surrounds them and assists them and maybe even visits their home and helps them along this path. But when you're coming out of a major religion, that's what I was asking him. I don't think there really is anyone you can go to and put your arm around and say, hey, man, I need a little uplifting today.
Well, and I think that part of that is all how we view religions and religiosity. I studied cults a little bit in college, and they actually term them new religious movements, which is a way of looking at them, because when we tend to think of the tools that cults use to draw in and gain members, they're also used by established religions. They've just been around longer that we don't think of them as such.
Yeah.
Those welcoming committees and such, those are very prevalent in Scientology, in the Moonies, in the Nation of Islam even. They are communities that are meant to draw in new members through this very positive experience.
And support them.
Yes.
So in that transition. So it's kind of like if you were a refugee and you left your country and then you're in a new land. You need assistance and help and hand-holding and someone to sometimes interpret these traffic signs for you. I don't know, maybe we should start our own subgroup here that helps people do that. But hey, Ziggy, I want to remind everyone, DIK, Designing Chaos, got a show on December 30th at Gas Monkey Live here in Dallas, Texas. And, of course, on New Year's Eve, if you're in Dallas, you can go see Deadly Sins Burlesque and Sideshow in Deep Ellum. That's at Wits End for only $8. Or if you're in Fort Worth, check out Chemicost. We've been playing them as our bed underneath, along with other great bands in Fort Worth. But go to their website and find out the location. We want to mention Snackrilege, so please bring that logo up. Let's see, we've got them on the show. Is it next week? 2 weeks from today, I believe. We've got them on as a Skype, Ziggy, and they're going to talk about what they do. Snackrilege uses this pentagram marketing. I love it, to talk about veganism and all of their cool products. So I'm hoping that they'll have some things that can hold up and show us and how to order them on their website.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. Look, here's what I think we need to do, Ziggy, in a future show is have someone on who's a marketing expert to tell us, hey, is this sort of imagery being used more and more in marketing? And that is the dark side or a satanic imagery or pentagram, to help market their business in America.
Well, I believe that there is a certain subsection of the population that would claim that Satanism in marketing has been secretly being used for hundreds of years because I don't know if you know this, Jay, but actually a secret satanic cabal runs the world government. I'm not sure if you were familiar with that. But,
controls of the world order.
Here, read these pamphlets.
Yeah. We should have Danny on for a minute to talk about part 2 of scary Halloween movies. Are you cool with that? Are you cool? Yeah, we're going to put her on that mic over there, Ziggy. And so we got 5 more here. I love talking about alternative Christmas movies, meaning. No, you can just tell me, and we'll do it off camera if you want. Yeah. All right, so we got 5 more, and then we're going to go to Agnet from Matter Mortem. We got to talk to her on Skype. See what you got over there. I like your T-shirt.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. I am here for a quick recap for new movies for holiday horror. First up, we have Saint Nick. It is a great horror movie.
Outstanding.
I think we cover. No, we didn't cover this one.
You see heads chopped. We didn't talk about heads chopped off. You see gore. This is an excellent movie.
Am I covering this or you?
I guess it's you.
Thank you.
Back to
Thank
you.
It's directed by Dick Moss. It covers more of the story of Saint Nick, but he is reimagined from the jolly-old saint as a bloodthirsty bishop fulfilling a grisly prophecy every 32 years under the Christmas full moon.
Yeah.
He was slain by villagers. He's back for revenge. It's a badass
Heck
film.
yeah.
Check it out.
What else you got?
Don't open till Christmas.
Yeah.
This one was actually supposed to be originally with my first top 5 last week, but we didn't have the box. It's a great movie. There's a killer on the loose, and they can't figure out who it is, and it has a really cool scene in London, in the London dungeon.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love it.
I like it.
We're going to ask Ziggy to get Agnet almost queued up
I
here.
believe it was one of the video nasties.
Love it. What else you got?
Rare Export's not one of my favorites, but a lot of people do like it. It has like that magical Steven Spielberg feel that I'm not so keen on.
No, it's cool. Yeah.
You know,
I like it.
It falls in that same category as like Gremlins and
Definitely an alternative holiday horror movie.
It's okay. It's
What
not
else you
even
got?
scary, guys.
Miss Danny. This is Danny from the
Okay,
Bulldog
this
and Danny
is
show.
not one that I would even
Psycho
recommend.
Santa, I know, that's like a B
I
movie.
don't recommend Satan Claus either. I have a feeling that somebody threw this in the pile because it has the word Satan Claus.
Satan Claus.
He knows when you've been bad or good. I don't even think he was originally in this photo. I think they photoshopped him in. This is terrible.
Yeah, that's bad. Funny story. That movie in other countries is named Lucifer Kills Everyone.
I like that. No, this is awful. B movie theater drive-in double feature. I don't even think the B
love
movie
it.
theater would show this.
I have not seen that at the drive-in. You got one more?
Yeah, one more.
Yeah.
Elves. It's a classic.
Oh, cool.
Has Dan Haggerty in it, guys.
This is the Will
Dan
Ferrell
Hagen.
movie, right?
No.
No. If you put this in, people will be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
This is not.
Elves.
They're not working for Santa anymore. That's what the tagline is.
They're not working for Santa anymore. I love it. That's a cool movie.
Yeah.
If you-
Dan Haggerty plays a department store Santa who has to stop these evil elves. It has some very weird turns, and the elves were genetically created by a neo-Nazi mad scientist during World War II.
we love B movies.
So this
Look.
is definitely this is a treat. This is it's hard to find.
Hey,
So
this
if you
is
happen
what
to find it, grab a copy. It's
this is
terrible.
what Bruce was saying. In
but
life, you need to
entertaining.
laugh more, and that's a great movie you can laugh at.
It's
Elves. Let's bring on Matter Mortem, Ziggy.
and that
Let's
concludes
reach out to her.
Holiday horror.
Yeah. Yeah, we're trying to reach out to Agnat from Matter Mortem. This is a okay, not getting a response. That's all right. Well, keep trying if you don't mind. And Matter Mortem, if you've got the logo there, Ziggy, I'm sorry, you got the logo, Ziggy. This is a goth rock band from Oslo, Norway. Their new release, Red in Tooth and Claw. And I've been talking to her, so we had it lined up. So I'm not sure. Sometimes we do have a Skype issue when we're going to Scandinavia or across the globe. So if we need to keep trying or have her back on in the future, that's totally cool. So, hey, in the future shows, I think we should have a kids takeover, and I'm hoping we can do that in the near future, maybe February time. I don't know, something like that, where we have some really. They would have to be cool kids come in and just run the whole show. just take over completely. I like that idea. And don't forget, we've got Rick Spears and Chuck Beebe, author of Black Metal graphic novel, coming up on the 15th. And
I'm really excited about that, guys. I've been kind of nerding out for a couple weeks already.
you're going to take over that show, Ziggy. I told you about Mick Box from Uriah Heep coming up. I'm talking to him on the 8th. That's going to be a pre-recorded conversation. We got a great band from Singapore called Worm Rot who will be joining us as well. And a report on metal dating. So I love the connection that the Satanic Temple Dallas made with all of us. And yeah, so Miss Danny is back over there, Ziggy, on that camera, showing us. Do you want to talk about it? Or do you want to? Yeah.
The Satanic Children's Big Book of Activities. It's really cool, but it's not that big, guys.
Well, it says
Kinda
big
like
book,
lacking in content.
but no, come
it's
on.
actually really
No.
cool. There are,
Spot right. Find a
find
difference.
6 differences.
Yeah.
Word jumble.
No, word jumble. You got words like justice in there. I mean, these are all positive words.
I like how you knew that one. How many times have you been looking at it?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Were you eating? There's like some bacon
Is
in
there?
there.
Yeah.
What the hell, man?
Yeah. Don't tell anyone I mean bacon.
You
No,
can
it was
color
not bacon.
Annabelle Study.
Yeah.
I've wanted one of these forever, guys. I'm super excited about this.
Ooh.
Connect the dots. I don't know what it connects. I can't wait to find out.
We love the book.
Word search. And these are downloadable off of the Satanic Temple's website. So if you'd like to get your own, or you can contact the Satanic Temple, like your local chapter. They'll get you one.
Yes.
Decode the message. Man, she looks kind of cranky. I don't know. Okay. Oh, and there's answers in the back. Don't look. It's a secret.
Ziggy, I've got some more music for you to put on. If you want to. Yeah. I like Hint of Death, another local band. If you want to. Yeah, if you played Chemicost and want to put that new one in. So, Agnet, we missed you. We want you on our show on Skype or even just a regular telephone call. Matter Mortem has played Brutal Assault in Norway and other festivals on the continent. Matter Mortem is a band I want you to check out if you're into industrial or goth. They are based in Oslo. And I know that they have been getting some big storms and all that there, too. I don't know if that affects Skype, but we'll try and have her on in a future episode. We're hoping to expand the show in the future and have awesome guests that you guys want, that you guys like, that will hopefully expand your mind. But really, we're about extreme metal and sinister metal and heavy metal and heavy rock. So we want to just keep rolling on that and always support the local scene as well as select cool artists that we think are badass from around the world. Go ahead.
You keep forgetting to mention Responsible Johnny when you talk about the Deadly Sin show. I just want to point
Would
that
you
out.
please do that? Because I did forget it, and here we
You
go.
know, you forget to highlight the badass punk rock. Punk rock is just fucking amazing as metal.
Yeah, so just read it. It's Responsible Johnny.
Okay,
and
Deadly Sins Burlesque and Sideshow and Responsible Johnny and a free champagne toast at midnight at Wits End, $8.
New Year's Eve,
On New Year's Eve.
2016. Yes, and it's only $8 at Wits End in Deep Ellum.
And you can see Satan. He will be there.
That's right.
Pretty sure we're the only burlesque show / punk rock show with Satan. Probably any show of Satan.
Satan. Hey, we're going to say happy birthday to Shane McGowan, remember? From the Pogues. So raise one. I saw them live. I saw Shane and the Pogues live in 2002 in London. It was outdoor. It was in the summer. And that was the same year that Joe Strummer died. Joe Strummer actually played right before the Pogues. And wow, what a show. Mm-hmm. But yeah. Come on. Come on, Shane. Yeah. We love you.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm not even supposed to be here right now.
Yes, you are. This is Danny from the Bulldog and Danny Show.
I'm just joking.
Yeah. And it's good to see you because I know there was no Bulldog and Danny Show tonight.
Yeah,
but
we had no Bulldog and Danny Show.
It is a holiday, so
we will not be here next week either.
we'll give you guys a pass.
But this show will be here next week.
We're going to have some cool interviews next week that will air on January 1st. Thank you. New Year's Day, and those interviews will probably be with Impaled Nazarene and or Nerve Cell and or Electric Wizard.
Yeah.
I like
So
those guys too. We
tune
get
in.
talking.
7:30 to 8:30.
Yeah.
The Corpse Paint Show. That is Central Standard Time, right?
Right. So we're at www.watchonair.live.com/corpse
Corpse Paint.
dash paint.
Sorry.
So if you can't catch us on that Sunday night,
You
can
can
always-
check the on-demand section.
on demand and watch all
You
the
can even
all
watch
the-
past episodes.
Watch all the past episodes. They've all been good.
Yeah. Last week we had Linnea Quigley on. Just talking about Silent Night, Deadly Night. It's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah. I kind of want to see some more Linnea Quigley right now. I don't know if maybe Ziggy's got it queued up to where she says, I support the Corpse Paint Show. That's all right. Now, let's just play her for a second. Yeah. It's okay. Yeah, it's all right.
I was going to let them in at about, I guess it was an hour and a half before the show, when I noticed that one was shaking a dead rat very violently in its mouth. And I am terrified of, even if they're dead, of rats. I can't deal with them. And I'm calling every guy I know in the world to come over. Well, I finally get the neighbor lady next door, who's 2 sheets to the wind, to come over. And she can't find it. And
Okay.
I'm smelling this stuff. I'm like, oh, God, it's around
What?
here.
Just let her
And then
keep
she's
talking,
telling me
Ziggy. And this
she's
is the
left
tape we
her
did last
husband out
week. We did a live
tonight, and,
conversation with her.
I'm smelling the
But
stench of
she's
the rat,
telling us
and I'm
about
freaking
her
out, and
adoption
I
of
know I have to do
dogs
this-
and the
this
dogs she has in her
show.
house,
And
and
then at
that one of them did
point,
find
my
a dead rat.
flashlight hits
And
on an iguana
this is a
that I think that
very
I
funny
saved from my
Linnea Quigley
pool
story.
a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
But it ends up I go over there and it's dead too.
Oh,
Oh, no.
Pick up this like 5-foot iguana and I have to bury it. And then finally, right before the show's coming on, we find the dead rat,
oh,
which picks up with this is like freaks me out. She had a bag on her hand, but she picked it up.
so we can
with
kind of
her
fade it
hand
out.
and
Yeah,
it
that was.
squished.
You can watch a whole episode at the website /corpse-paint and hear that whole interview. But what we learned from Linnea is that she was going to show us the picture of the dead iguana.
Yeah, no dead rat. She didn't want to take it out of the trash.
But we
I don't know why
we should have said
why
yes,
you
but
asked. No.
I declined
No,
to see the dead animal.
I'm glad we
Yeah.
didn't see any dead
Yeah,
animals.
yeah.
I'm not
Hey, let's
excited
play a
about
little Matter Mortem on that cool video. This is their new song called Fallow Season, which I think is great. And Agnat is the lead singer. She is in front of like 5 guys with long hair who are headbanging, and there she is out front just belting it out. I think she always does clean vocals, which is cool.
From the troubled ground where prophets breathe and faith comes cheap. Like fast words spilled from a careless mouth, their hollow leeches preying on the minds. Small men kneel by the riverside. This will be our fallow season.
Fallow Season by Matter Mortem. Check them out. Did we talk about Snackrilege? We did, right? Yeah, and they're going to be on the 8th, talk about their cool products and their website.
Their tasty snacks.
Snackrilege. There it is right there, and it's snackrilege.com, I believe, right, Ziggy? Yeah, and check out their website, and you can order cool vegan snacks and other things there.
I like their tagline, "Horns up for veganism."
Horns up
Yeah.
for veganism. Yeah. And it just dovetails perfectly with Linnea, who is a vegan.
Yes.
Hey, let's talk about metal dating. I know you've been showing us the logo up there too, so metaldating.com. If you are single and you are into metal and you're looking for another metal head, check out their website as well. We may have a report from Rob.
I have
that-
scanned through metaldating.com, and there are very many very like attractive metalheads on there. Yeah.
Good.
Check it out.
Yeah, good.
They're into
And-
all different types of metal.
Does it kind of say what type of metal you're into? Or
Yeah, it has like a, it's like a typical, they'll talk about what they like.
a little
what
bit
they're
about
into.
themselves. Yeah.
Kind of like a dating website, but
Awesome.
for metalheads.
Yeah. I think we should try and establish Wits End and Deep Ellum as maybe being the central safe meeting spot for all of these metalheads who are going to meet and date. So. I like it. Wits End is kind of a central place. So we had Ross
Are you
Stitches
going to
on.
be the chaperone?
No.
You're not going to chaperone this?
No.
Like corpse paint guy sitting in the background at a table watching
no.
a date?
He's
Yeah.
going to be the guy at the
Yeah.
speed dating that rings the bell for people to switch tables.
Call it hell dating.
Right. Speed
Will
dating.
your date be heaven or hell?
We should have that on the show, maybe. Yeah. We
Speed
just
dating?
bring two of them together that have not met.
I am not doing. Okay, let's say I'm not doing speed dating.
No. Two people from metaldating.com who have not met. They've talked maybe online.
That's usually how online
I know.
dating works.
Of
You
course.
usually don't
Yeah.
meet. You like talk first,
Right.
because if you met already,
we
you
have
would
a
meet
meet
the
here.
internet.
We have a meet here on this show.
Clearly, Satan or corpse paint guy has never been on internet dating.
Hold on, let me get my supporter friend over here.
Do we need to teach you how to online date?
No. We have a meet here on this show for the first time. It'll kind of be our dating show or whatever. They got to be metalheads though.
I think you should do like a version of the dating game.
We either want to see
Like
corpse
metal
paint
dating
or we
game?
want to see a lot of steel in your body.
I still
or
like a metal
tattoos.
version of the dating game. You could do
So-
things like, can you read the spiky logo? Show us your best
Can you? Yeah.
black metal phase.
We will now commence the black metal pose.
Yeah,
If-
do your best black metal pose. Can you scream? Do you know what they're saying in like what Swedish thing what they're saying?
If you were a flavor of goat's blood, what flavor would you be?
Yes.
Exactly. Can you read all 10 tracks from this title? Like from this album?
Right.
He does this to me all the time. He'll be like, "Look at this album. Can you read all what is this word?" I'm like, "I don't know." I try my best, and then he just laughs at me.
Shout out to our friends. Yes. These are our fellow atheists as well. I hope everyone found and walked away from this with a kind of a encouraging, positive message from Bruce Garinser. I really do. I really do. I hope that you can see this is a guy who was entrenched in religion and ejected himself, if I may use the phrase. Thank you, Bruce, for making the world a more sacrilegious place. Yes, indeed. There it is, his website. Life and Times of Bruce Garinser. It's pronounced Garinser. Check it out. Read some of his stuff. Make some comments. So, hey, big hails and horns up for Danny, who's creator of this show. And she's from the Bulldog and Danny show. Check us out online, please, at
Before.
www.watchonairlive.com/corpse-paint and check out all the other previous episodes. We've had some awesome guests.
And don't spell out dash. It's a little symbol. I
So
just
let-
want to be clear. You never know.
Hey, just real clear, we are having a show on January 1st, 1 week from tonight, New Year's Day, and we've got some pre-recorded interviews that are just totally awesome. We support and love all the people who watch this show and listen to this show and look forward to expanding in 2017. So, look, Happy New Year, everyone, and happy Shane McGowan birthday.